For one of the world's fastest growing passenger aviation markets, today is a very big day for India, my friends. The Adani Group and Brazilian aircraft manufacturer Embraer have announced a partnership that will see Embraer's family of regional passenger jets built here in India as part of a first ever assembly line alongside aftermarket services and pilot training. This is not just an industrial deal that will yield full passenger aircraft manufacture for the first time in our country. It's a strategic signal about where India's skies are really headed.
One of India's biggest conglomerates already owns the Runway. Now it wants to own the airline too. Adani Group has quietly approached the Indian government asking it to dilute a rule that has stood since 2006. A rule that stops airport operators from owning more than 10% of a scheduled airline. If it goes through, the group that already runs 8 Indian airports including Mumbai could become the first company in the country to control both the runway and the aircraft on it. Hi, this is Indraneel and welcome to the Spotlight Beyond Profession. Let's go beyond the headlines where global capital, policy and power collide. We decode it. Here's what's on the table. Since India privatized its 2 busiest airports, Delhi and Mumbai, in 2006, a clause in the concession agreement has capped airport operators at 10% ownership in any scheduled airline. The logic was simple. Don't let the company controlling the runway also control the planes on it. Adani holds a 74% stake in Mumbai Airport. Delhi Airport is 74% owned by GMR Airports. Adani has now asked New Delhi to relax that 10% cap, and government officials say the Aviation Ministry is seeking a legal opinion from the Solicitor General on whether the clause can even be amended retrospectively. Any change would still need full cabinet approval. Beyond the 2 big airports, Adani already runs 8 airports across India and has built out pilot training, aircraft maintenance and repair, and ground handling operations. The airline license is the missing piece. Why now? 2 words: Embraer synergy. Adani Group is setting up an aircraft manufacturing facility in India with Brazil's Embraer. But according to people familiar with the matter, the group has struggled to convince existing Indian airlines to commit to buying those planes. A manufacturing plant only becomes commercially viable with a guaranteed order book, and starting its own carrier could be the fastest way to generate one. That's a sharp reversal. Just last December, Jeet Adani, son of Chairman Gautam Adani, publicly ruled out entering the airline business, saying it didn't align with the group's capital discipline. Sources now say that thinking has shifted, tied directly to the Embraer's ambitions. An Adani executive familiar with the matter said no concrete decision has been made yet, but confirmed there's clear internal recognition of synergy and that the ask to government was for an enabling provision, not immediate approval to launch a carrier. Meanwhile, there's a second motive on the government side. India's domestic aviation market is a near duopoly. IndiGo and Air India together control roughly 90% of it. Senior officials believe a well-capitalized new entrant could inject real competition. Now here's where governance gets complicated. Because on paper, this rule change is about competition. In practice, it could concentrate power in a completely different way. Airline executives are already flagging the core conflict: airport slots. Those are the specific takeoff and landing windows assigned to airlines, and at peak hours in cities like Delhi and Mumbai, they are some of the most valuable limited assets in Indian aviation. If an airport operator also owns an airline, even a minority stake, the question becomes unavoidable: who gets priority when slots are scarce? Government officials say any amendment would come with safeguards: an arm's length requirement between the airport and airline businesses, restrictions on sharing commercially sensitive slot data, and a ban on shared management between the 2 arms. They also point to India's existing slot rules, where an airline that's used 80% of its slots is guaranteed to retain them the following season as an existing check on abuse. But here's the second order effect industry insiders are pointing to, and it's the one that matters most from the governance standpoint. If the rule is relaxed for airport operators to enter aviation, the same logic opens the door the other way. Airlines like IndiGo or Air India could start buying stakes in airports too. That could let a dominant airline quietly block rival carriers from key gateway access, the exact opposite the competition the policy is meant to protect. This is the classic tension in infrastructure governance. Rules built to prevent vertical concentration in one direction can just as easily enable it in the other once the wall comes down. And there's a documentation issue too. The original clause was written into the 2006 concession agreements. Amending it now, years into the concession, raises a retrospective change question that regulators, courts, and rival companies are all likely to scrutinize closely. Step back, and this isn't just an aviation story. It's a case study in how infrastructure power compounds. Adani's model: own the airport, the ground handling, the maintenance, the pilot training, and potentially the airline, is vertical integration at a scale rarely seen in Indian infrastructure. For investors and ESG analysts, that raises a familiar governance question. When one group controls multiple layers of a critical public infrastructure chain, does regulatory oversight scale with it? For global observers, India's civil aviation sector is one of the fastest growing in the world, and how this plays out will signal whether India's regulatory architecture can keep pace with conglomerate ambition, or whether policy ends up being shaped case by case by whoever asks first. This decision won't just determine who flies India's next airline. It will set a precedent for how infrastructure ownership and market competition are balanced across the entire economy. This is exactly the kind of story we track here, where corporate strategy, policy, and governance intersect, and where the real story is never just the headline. If stories like this matters to you, subscribe to the Spotlight Beyond Profession and follow us across YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Beyond Profession, Beyond Headlines, Beyond Borders. Thank you very much for watching and signing it off.